What's up, and welcome to Unspoken Conversations. I'm James Crow, and here we talk about issues and situations that are in plain sight. Things that people hate to talk about, but it needs to be said, from relationships, families, friends, and life. Our goal is to shed light and understanding so that just maybe we can start to rebuild relationships, families, and ultimately, our communities. What's up, guys, and welcome back. In this episode, I want to talk about what are some basic questions you should ask the person you're dating within the first week or two in the courting stages. What are some basic questions you should ask the person you're dating, right? Or courting, I should say. You ever think about that? Do y'all just go into a situation blind, just talking about whatever, whenever? Or do y'all actually have a strategy? Excuse me. If you have a strategy, you know what to ask, you know what to say, you know what to look for. Ever think about that? What is your purpose for this? What is your purpose for talking to this person? What is your purpose for wanting to get to know them? What are you trying to get to know? You get what I'm saying? So, here's my opinion. When you start dating somebody, courting, not dating, because there's 3 stages of dating. Well, we ain't talking about that. When you start courting someone, some of the basic questions you should ask a person, male or female: what is the relationship like with your mother or father? If they will respect their mother, they will respect their father, most likely they'll respect you. So you can tell how a man will respect his woman by how he respects his mother. If his mother was never in his life, who was next in line? Was it his grandma? Was it his auntie? Was it his sister? Who raised him? If he was raised by men, right? If he was raised by men, what were those men like? Who were those men? Were those men respectable men? This is a question you need to ask. You have to ask. You need to know this. Ladies, you need to know who this man was raised by and how he respected that person. If it was a man or a woman. If he was raised by men and men only, there's a possibility there was some jaded men. And if they were jaded, there's a possibility this man that you talking to ain't gonna have no respect for women. So that's one. If this man grew up with women, but didn't respect these women, grew up yelling, fussing, fighting, just emotional as hell, just tripping, there's a possibility he ain't gonna respect a woman. If this man says, I grew up with my mom, like me and my mom's relationship was real good, whether she died or is here. If they had a real good relationship, you need to ask this man. So did you guys ever fight? If he says, nah, hell no, I would never disrespect my mom like that. You're onto something. If he won't disrespect his mama, most likely he won't disrespect you. Now, it still depends on the relationship between them. Just because he never disrespected her doesn't mean he doesn't disrespect women. You need to know the relationship. Did you guys ever talk? You need to ask him. So what are some of the deep conversations you and your mom had? What are some of the things you and your mom talked about? You get what I'm saying? Like, how deep was y'all's conversations? You guys ever sit and talk for hours? You know what I'm saying? You need to notice about this man. What you're doing is you're getting in his head to see how far he will go as far as to respect this woman. What he will do to respect this woman. You really need to know his mom. By knowing how he'll respect his mom, you know how he'll respect you. That is really, really important. That's one. With men, the same goes for you asking a woman about her father. You need to know what's her father in her life. You know what I'm saying? I've dealt with women who said, no, my dad was never in my life. And I would say, so how do you feel about him? Oh, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. Really? Why? Now you see my radar's bing, radar's on high alert because she's finna start going in about this dude. So I want to know what he did, right? Well, he cheated on my mom and he had another kid and he this and he that and he, goddamn, you really don't like this dude, do you? No, fuck him. I really don't like him. I don't even talk to him. He's a piece of shit. Like, really? Did he ever do anything for you? Yeah, when I was a kid, but what? He did for you as a kid and you still willing to act like this? And that wasn't even your situation. That was your mama and his situation. You willing to act like that was your man? Really? Well, he broke up the family and I don't need to hear no more. Get the fuck out of my face. I don't want to deal with you because I know I know if she's acting like this to him, about him, she's showing no respect. She's showing me no respect for this man. Don't you think I know she's going to do that same shit to me the moment she's upset with me? I don't give a fuck what she's mad about. The moment she sees things her way and her way only, she's going to attack the person she does not respect. The reason why is she's showing me proof right now. She's showing me proof. She didn't agree with something that her dad did. And look how far she's going. She's going so far as to disrespect this man. I don't care. I don't care what it was. You shouldn't be disrespecting the man. You shouldn't be. I get it if you said, "Nah, I don't want to talk about that. That's a sore subject." I would say, "All right, I get that. You ain't got to talk about it, but do you ask? Can I ask how you feel about the man? Can I ask what you think about him?" If she says, "Well, I mean, I really don't think about it much. I mean, he's my dad, so I gotta respect him. But you know what I mean? Like, I just rather stay away from him because he's kind of a weird individual. He's a mean individual. He's kind of a shady individual. He's kind of a dirty individual." If she said that, she's not talking down on him. She's giving me a little information as to why she feels the way she feels and the reason she'd rather not talk about it. But she's showing me she's not willing to just disrespect the dude based on what's happened and what she feels. She's not throwing in my face her traumas that's got her feeling some type of fucked up way. So what she did was she just showed me a little respect for the man, even though she don't like certain things about the man. If she can do that with her father, she can do that with me, right? If she has a father, and I asked that question, I would also ask her, what about your brothers? If she didn't have a father, I would also ask her, what about your brothers? If she didn't have brothers, I would also ask, what about any uncles? You got any uncles? How is your relationship with your uncles? I need to know how she is with the men that were around her from a little girl up until an adult. I need to know how her relationship was with these men. Now, if she gets to talking about she was, touched on and raped and all that, okay, that might be a sore subject. We ain't got to go into it. I just need to know what her thoughts and feelings are on the men that was around her as she was growing up. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know details. I just need to pick her brain, and her answer ain't what's so important. Her response to what I'm asking is what's important. Because if she responds nasty, she got some built up shit inside, and it's waiting to come out. And every single guy that she deals with that she feels is dirty is going to compound onto those. So now it's going to be her dad, her brother, and an uncle. And now it's going to be a dad, brother, uncle, and the dude who cheated on her. And then it's going to be a dad, a brother, uncle, and the dude that cheated on her and her ex-husband. No, dude. She studied building up a callus for these fucking men. And if she's jaded, I don't want nothing to do with her. I don't want nothing to do with no jaded woman, because all of that built up past trauma and drama, that's just coming off. And who you think got to catch that? I am not going to be I'm not going to be your punching bag. Hell nah. Nope. Most likely she don't know how to control it. The reason it's coming out in the form of frustration and aggression from them towards them, but it's coming out to me. She's showing me, nah, I'm straight. So that's one thing y'all need to check. That's, ask what that relationship was like with her father, her brothers, her uncles, the men that was in her life. You need to know. Some of the other questions is y'all may not like to hear this. Y'all may not want to know this, but me, I want to know what her sexual preferences are. The reason why is because if this woman starts telling me she likes freaky, nasty, dirty shit, now my next question is, so you ever had a threesome? You ever had a foursome? Really? You ever been penetrated by 3, 4, and 5 like in a row? Like, nah. I mean, y'all might think that it's judgment. It's not judgment. I just know what I prefer. I would rather buy a car with under 100 miles, under 100,000 miles, than to buy a car with 200,000 miles. I don't care about it being used. I don't want the car to be abused. The reason why is because 100,000 miles is normal. It's normal. I'm talking used cars. I'm not talking new. 100,000 mile vehicle is pretty average, right? Depending on the miles. If it's a brand new car just made last year and got 100,000 miles on it, that's bad. But let's say the car is 5 to 10 years old. If it's got 100,000 miles on it, that's not bad. It's not bad. But if it's 5 years old, 10 years old, it's got 200,000 miles on it, I don't want that shit. I don't want that shit because it's most likely it's hitting its wall where everything needs to be replaced. It's got issues. It's got trauma. It's been through trauma. We're talking about a fucking car here. Let's talk about a pair of pants. If I've had a pair of pants for a year, right, and I haven't really abused them, most likely they still look new. But let's say I worked on them, painted in them, you know what I'm saying, shoveled in them, dug holes in them, worked in them all the time, and I only had them for a year. Don't you think them pants is going to be a little bit jaded? Don't you think them pants is going to be a little bit fucked up? So if it's like that with objects, you don't think it's like that with people? Fucking people? People are machines. They have a hard drive. And the hard drive, if that hard drive is fucked up, it's got too much shit in it, don't you think it's going to run slowly? If it's going to run slowly, don't you think you're going to have to deal with that at some point? Y'all need to think about that. So you need to ask certain questions. Everything she's telling me from her hard drive, right? And here I am listening and taking it in and understanding. I'm not going to judge this woman. I'm not going to say she's a whore. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say she's a bust down. I might say she's a bust down. I might say she's a bust down. I might stay away from her. I might. But that's neither here nor there. I really need to know what I'm dealing with. And who this person is. Because let's say she tells me she loves threesomes. What? How many times you done had a threesome? We in this now. Oh, we knee deep now. We finna go waist deep. How many threesomes you done had? She tell me maybe two or three. Really? By the same dude? Same people? Nah, it's been different people. My radar has peaked. It ain't a beep, 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 beep. It's flatline now. Beep. Run, bro, run. So I don't know. Me, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I mean, I would sit there and I'd have a conversation with her. I wouldn't just get up and walk away all rude and shit. But later on, I'd let her know, like, you know, I mean, we cool. I could see dealing with you on a friendship level. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could be in a relationship. And she ain't gotta like it, but she needs to understand. And some of y'all won't say no. Some of y'all won't say this. Some of y'all part way play with this shit. And if you part way play with it, what do you think's gonna happen? You gonna end up in a situation where you can't get out of because you fucking had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Why do y'all do that dumb shit? Don't do it. Either get in or get out. Don't do both. And fellas, you motherfuckers will think, oh, she's gorgeous, she's bad. I know she got some traumas, but let me just try it. Let me just put the tip in. You dumbass. Don't do it. Like I said before, how you win at a board game with a devil? You don't play. So that's another question. I need to know what type of thing she's into. Does she like it dirty? Well, how dirty? What's the dirtiest thing you ever done? Where's the dirtiest place you've ever done it? Now, those things are not an issue. She could say in a movie theater. She could say in the back of a car with someone driving and she was in the backseat with somebody else. And those things don't mean nothing. What matters is was all these times with different people, or was this with your man at the movie theater was with your man? In the back of this car with somebody driving, that was with the same man. You get what I'm saying? At the park, was that with a different dude or was that with your man? That was the same man. That's what I'm saying. You need to know. These are questions you need to ask. Y'all don't want to know because y'all don't want to have this drilled into your brain. I want to know because it's letting me know just how dirty she is and for whom she's willing to be dirty with. If every single dude that she's been with, she's been willing to be dirty with them, what can I bring to the table? Where can I be fresh with this? Where can I be new? Where can this only happen with me? You get what I'm saying? I want to teach my woman. And if there's nothing left for me to teach because she'd have been taught by 10, 20, 30 other people, it doesn't mean she's bad. It just means that that's not something that I want. I don't want that. Y'all can have that. I just don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Preferences. Doesn't mean she's a whore, but I might feel like I'm dealing with a whore. You get what I'm saying? So it all depends on the preferences of the person that you're dealing with. And y'all that want to say, well, he's insecure. Bitch, flip it. If I was the type of dude and I had 5 chicks that I was giving money to and spending money on and I wasn't smashing none of them, right? Wouldn't you say he's a trick? Would you want to deal with a trick? Would you be like, oh yeah, no, I can't mess with him. He's a trick. He be spending too much money on girls, and he don't even be getting none. Yeah. Yeah, see, so preferences ain't that fucking bad. So don't be sitting here talking about he's insecure. No, it's not insecure. Some people just know what they want, and some people know what they ain't gonna deal with. That's all it is. You call it what you want, but that's what it is. You know what I mean? Some other questions, right? Some other questions is what is your spending habits? What are some things that you like to spend your money on? This will let you know what this person's gonna be like if they're gonna be a financial burden. There's a lot of fucking financial burdens out here. A lot of them. Some people have no idea how to spend money. Some people have no idea about fucking credit. And you get with a person, if you're good with credit, you get with a person who's horrible on credit, ooh, guess who that burden's gonna fall onto? And for what? Because you didn't ask this motherfucker some basic questions about their goddamn spending habits. It's not a person with a spending habit, that's not a problem. If you have a spending habit, it's not a problem. But if you broke with a spending habit, you're a whole fucking problem. I don't give a shit who you are. You shouldn't be broke and be spending every goddamn dime you get just because I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. But I also feel like I deserve this and I deserve that. So now because you feel like you deserve this, and this. And you don't want to feel like you working only to live. So you want to blow a little money on yourself. And now you ain't got no money, you broke. You can't even keep gas in your car? Man, get your ass away from me. You get what I'm saying? I get it if your bills are high and you spend all your money on bills. That's one thing. But if you spend all your money on bills, and on your play toys and all that shit, yeah, you're a whole problem. You're a whole problem. That means you got a nasty spending habit. You're going to be a problem. You're going to always be asking me for money. And I don't have a problem giving you money, but if I got to now spend all my money on you because you spend all your money on you, I'm not dumb. I'm not doing that. I'm really not doing that. So that's another thing y'all really need. That's another question y'all need to ask, right? How long have you had a job? How long have you kept your job? You been working at the same place? Oh, I've been at this job for 2 years. Really? Which opens another question. What's the longest job you've ever had? I think the longest job I've ever had was 2 to 3 years, right? If this motherfucker is 40 years old, and you sit in my face and told me the longest job you've ever had was 2 to 3 years, but bitch, I might want to punch you in your shit. I ain't gonna do it, but I might feel like I want to punch you in your shit. Get your fucked hard ass away from me. Get the fuck, man, move around. Get the fuck from around me. There's zero way in hell. I'm not finna do this with you. It means you can't commit to something. If you can't commit to a job, what are you running from? What are you chasing? Even if you're chasing more money, and every job that you've been with in 2 years, you've gone up and up and up and up and up. Okay, let's say that's the case, right? Let's say the job you got right now is your 10th job in 5 years. Let's say that. But now you're making over $100,000 a year, right? Okay, you might be onto something. But what's next? What are you chasing next? What are you doing next? You still going for more money? If they say, yeah, I'm just not where I want to be, I'm not finna do this with you. So you don't plan on staying here? No. So you don't even have a career? If you chasing the same job, but you're just going from different place to different place, and you're steady, every time you go to a different place, you're doing the same job, but you're making more money, that's perfectly understandable. You're staying within your career range. You're staying there. I understand that. I do get that. But if you're changing jobs completely and you're moving around, 1 year, 2 years, you're a forklift driver. Then you got your CDLs and you drove trucks for 2 years. And then you decided you didn't want to be at home that long. So then you decided that you wanted to start an Amazon business. And then you decided that's too much work. You wanted to start and man, you can't make your fucking mind up for shit. Nah, we're not doing this. I'm not finna play with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna play with you. I'm not doing that. So that's another thing y'all need to think about. That's another question y'all need to ask. You know what I mean? Is your kids in your life? Women, this is for y'all especially, because a lot of women, y'all get with dudes and y'all don't ask about their kids. Or you will ask about the kids, but you won't ask the relationship with the kids. Or you'll ask about the relationship with the kids, but you won't ask if they're in their kids' life, and do they attend sports? Do they attend games? Do they attend conferences? One of the most important things you can ask a man, ladies, especially ladies, same with dudes, but especially ladies. One of the most important things you can ask a man about his kids is, do you attend his conferences, your kids' conferences? If this man says yes, you might be onto something. You might be onto something. If a man attends his kids' conferences, it means he will stop everything to go across town to make sure that he's at his kids' conferences, whether he's with their mother or not. With their mother or not. A man attending his kids' conferences, it shows an importance. It shows an importance. It shows that this man really gives a fuck about his kids. Because most men be like, nah, she got it. She take care of it. She's going to let me know what it is. No, me, I want to know firsthand. I want to hear what the teacher says about my kid. I don't want her to tell me. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to see how she reacts with her teachers. I want to see how her teachers react with her. I want to see that she's happy and she's cool in the classroom. These are things that I want to see. I want to know how my daughter is with this in this setting. I want to see it. I want to feel her energy when she's around this teacher and around her classroom. I need to know. You know what I mean? So that's another thing you need to ask this dude. Do you attend your kids' conferences? When's the last one you've been to? How does your kids do with sports? Are they in sports? If your kids are in sports, do you attend any of their games, any of their practices? The games is one thing. If the man or woman attends their game, that's one thing. But if that motherfucker attends their practices, they are in tune with their kids. They're in tune with their kids. Practices? Do you know how many motherfuckers miss practices because it's not important? It's just a practice. And I get some practices. I get missing some practices. But when the parent can get off work or ain't got to work and he got time off or she got time off and they go sit with the kid on their practices, that's a parent who shows interest in what their kids got going on. I respect that motherfucker. A high level of respect too, because it shows the importance of their kid, the importance they have for their kid. That's golden to me. Another thing I need to know is, what is your transportation shit like? What's the longest car you ever had? Right? This will tell me how they treat vehicles, because me as a man, I'm not going to let my woman drive a bus down. If I get with a chick and she got a Automo bubbly, her shit is just blue, 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 just barely running. Nah, we gotta upgrade this. And the reason we gotta upgrade it is because it's only a matter of time before I'm gonna have to work on this bitch. And while I'm working on it, most likely she's gonna be driving my shit. I ain't finna have you tearing up my shit the way you tear up your shit. No. So I need to know how she is with a vehicle, how she is with an automobile. If she treats her car like it's just a car that gets her from point A to point B, all right, this chick is dangerous. This chick is really dangerous. You don't care about your car? It is your only car and you don't care about it? If she don't care about hers, she's not going to care about mine. And now I'm going to have to keep her away from my keys and keep her out of my driver's seat. So you see what I'm saying? That's another important question you got to ask this person. You know what I mean? I would not let a woman drive my car if her car looks like a piece of shit. I get it if she's running thin on money and she got kids and all this. Let's just say she's got a bust down ass car and she got 4 or 5 kids, right? And she just be tearing her car up. If that's the case, when she comes around and we're talking and she's telling me all this information, the moment she tells me she has 5 kids and she's driving a bust down ass car, she's really telling me what she's used to. She's telling me what's going on with her. She's literally telling me what's going on in her life. Now think about what that's saying to me, right? It means she's made some poor choices. And if she's made some poor choices, they're pouring down onto me. They're finna pour down onto me. I don't want this problem. You get what I'm saying? So that's another question y'all need to ask somebody. What is their vehicle? What is your vehicle shit like? How do you treat your vehicles? When's the last time you got an oil change? If you get an oil change, do you actually keep this vehicle maintained? What are your tires like? If they can't tell you none of the information on none of these things, what are they really saying? You really got to think about that. You got to ask that. It's important. Because if this person don't maintenance their cars, you think they're going to maintenance yours? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And if they don't, you run the risk of them tearing up your car and tearing up yours. I'm not going to deal with that. I can't. So I need to know that this person is going to take care of their shit. So all these questions that are really, really important, if you don't ask them and you find out later, you fucked yourself. You really did. So, yeah, that's just a few. There's a lot more, but, you know, for the sake of time, we're already in the, we're in the 25-minute mark. Yeah, so keep that in mind. If there's more, you can think of them. Till next time, have a good night. They are so full of the cap, man. I can't take it, need to break it if they ain't